Hi, this is Whitney Tarkington. For this week's assignment, we were tasked with creating the back end of a storefront that displays store inventory and performs other actions depending on the user. So the customer JavaScript displays the store inventory and it allows customers to purchase items. The manager app allows managers to view and modify the store's inventory. And finally, we'll see the executive application, which displays sales by department and allows executives to add new departments. The project consists of 3 JavaScript applications and a MySQL database. I'll give you a quick tour of these components and then we'll give it a test drive. Okay, so what we're looking at now is my SQL database that supports the applications. So it has 2 primary components. There is a products table, and here you see the inventory for the store for that table. And then we have our departments table. And we have the different departments that we've added here. Okay. Let's take a look at the customer application. So what I think I'll do is I'll just run through the customer app and then I can take you on a tour of the code itself. So let's go ahead and run that. And what you're seeing here is that the customer application welcomes the customer and invites them to view our items. And here are all of the items with their prices and the quantity that's left, right? And then the customer is prompted to enter the product ID to purchase. Okay, let's go ahead and buy some pimento cheese, and that's item 32. And I'm just going to buy 1. And would I like to place another order? Let's say yes. And I think I'd really like an easy bake oven as well. So I'm going to do 20. And I'm going to do 2. And I don't think I'll place another order. And that's basically the customer application. All right, so let's take a look at the supporting code. It starts off with 2 packages that support it, which are Inquirer and MySQL. And then I have my localhost connection here. The first and primary function is to display the inventory. And so what you see here is a call to that products table. So this is products within Amazon DB, which is this is the name of the database. And it's basically just iterating through that table and pulling the information from each of these table rows that we've inserted here in the products table, which is here. There we go. Then there's a function to place the order, and it does validate the value entered. They have to enter a numerical value. And then they're prompted to enter the quantity, and that is also validated. If there's sufficient quantity, then the user is prompted that the order has been placed, but if there's insufficient quantity, the order is canceled. Okay, and what you're seeing here is to get the final price, it's the price times the quantity that they enter. Then they're finally prompted to either continue shopping or exit. And that's the primary application. There are 2 secondary functions that I have here, which is to log sales to the department table, which is the second table in MySQL, and then update total sales. And we'll see how that is useful in our other applications. So let's move on to the manager application. I'll go ahead and show you how this works. Okay, so if I'm logging in with a manager role, I have the option to view the inventory, view low inventory, add to that inventory, or add a product. Let's go ahead and view inventory. So you see it runs through and it's pulling all of my items from the products table in MySQL. And then I'm prompted as a user, do I want another transaction? And I'm going to say yes. I want to go ahead and view my low inventory. So these are basically any items that are, in my code, it's under 50. So if the quantity is under 50, it shows up in this list. And let's go ahead and enter another transaction. Let's add to an inventory. Let's go ahead and add to corn. So that's 30. Let's just add it by 1. So it says inventory is updated. Would I like another transaction? Let's say yes. And let's go ahead and add a product. Let's say so how about a rhinestone dog collar? I have a department called must-haves. We'll add it to that. And let's say it is $20. And the stock quantity we'll say is 30. And yeah, we'll go ahead and perform another transaction because we want to view what we added. So I'm going to say view inventory. It's going to run through. And look, we have our rhinestone collar. If we want to perform another transaction, we can, but I'm going to say no at this point. And let's go ahead and take a look at the code. I'm just going to get rid of this here and get rid of this here. Okay, so for the manager application, it has 4 primary areas that it executes. It's viewing products for the sale, it's viewing low inventory, it's adding to inventory, and adding a product. So for this application, it's a massive function with else-if statements. So what we have is our welcome message. We're going ahead and we're pulling our inventory items by table ID. So we're going to the product table and pulling the ID, the product name, department, price, and quantity. If the user selects low inventory, it goes through, and here's where I was mentioning less than 50. So if stock quantity is less than 50, it's iterating through and grabbing those items and displaying them. For adding to inventory, the user enters a number, that number is validated and added to that, that particular product, and it returns that, that the item has been updated. And finally, we're adding a product. So the user is prompted to enter the product name, enter the department, enter the price, which is validated, and then they're entering a quantity, which is also validated. And here what we're doing is just we're updating the products table with that value. And finally, the user is prompted, do they want to continue? Do they want another transaction, or would they like to exit? And that's the manager application. And finally, what we have is our executive app. So for this, let's go ahead and run it and see what it does. Okay. All right, so like the manager application, we get a menu of options. For the executive, there are only two. I can view sales by department, or I can create a new department. So let's go ahead and hit enter on viewing sales. And what you'll see here is that some of my departments are underwater because my overhead costs exceed actual sales. And let's go ahead and do another transaction. Let's create a department. We'll enter a department called travel. $100 overhead costs. Yes, let's perform another transaction, and we can enter view sales by department. And what you can see is that we have this added department. Its total sales are null because there aren't any products assigned to it, and there haven't been any sales, and we're in a negative profit, of course, because there haven't been any sales. And so that's the executive application, and we won't perform another. And that's basically the application. So if you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to hear them. Thanks so much.